the jury. West Yorkshire Pension Fund is one of the largest government pension funds with assets of around £20 billion and over 300,000 members. Their largest employers are the 5 West Yorkshire councils: Bradford, Calderdale, Kirklees, Leeds and Wakefield. West Yorkshire Pension Fund's investment in the fossil fuel industry exceeds £1 billion. Councillor Andrew Thornton, chair of the fund, admits that the annual financed emissions of the fund are greater than the annual emissions of all the motor vehicles registered in West Yorkshire. Climate scientists across our planet warn that 4 degrees of warming, 4 degrees of warming may be achieved within 60 years unless humanity makes dramatic changes, the foremost of which is leaving fossil fuels in the ground. 4 degrees of warming will be catastrophic for human life. Fires, floods and storms destroying supply chains, food sources, water supplies, mass starvation and global conflict. In these circumstances, a 4-year-old child of today would not live to 80 years and 10 and would die an unnatural death unless we stop using fossil fuels. West Yorkshire Pension Fund are complicit in this unfolding disaster if they fail to divest. Global Justice Bradford have provided clear warning over 4 years in this very courtroom. The pension fund cannot claim ignorance.
Objection, my lord, objection. The fate of children and grandchildren is not our concern. We have a financial duty. We must make money for our members, whatever the cost to humanity. We are not a charity, my lord. We are a money-making machine, and we have a fiduciary duty.
May there be order in court. I must admit the jury that any booing and hissing is strictly permitted. Failure to do so will be regarded as a contempt of court and may lead to incarceration under the terms of the government's latest Terror Nonsense Act. Please continue, Miss Wright.
The pension fund risks losing money when fossil fuel investments fail and become stranded assets. Strong returns can be had from investments in green energy that will benefit us now and in the future. Then there is the question of morality.
Objection, my lord. We have no moral duty to 4-year-old children or anyone else. Purely a financial duty. As I've said, my lord, it's money with our pension fund. As is clear from our climate report, moral duty is not a priority for us. My lord, the appellant's case is nonsense, and my learned friend knows it. We choose engagement. That means discussion with the likes of BP and Shell. This way we can persuade them to change their activities. If we sell our holdings in those companies, we then have no influence over them.
Objection, my lord. The pension fund is a great advocate for engagement, even in the face of clear evidence that oil and gas companies are expanding fossil fuel production again, despite their engagement. Shell and BP have announced the cancellation of plans to shift from oil and gas to renewables, despite engagement from many of their shareholders. As usual, the fund's officers are reluctant to let go of this useless tactic. One can only speculate as to why this may be.
Members of the jury, The nature of the stock market is that if we sell, someone else will buy. And all we have done is pass the buck to the next investor who may prove less diligent than ourselves in scrutinising management behaviour. Divestment is a missed opportunity to enact real change.
Objection, my lord. The accused are deluding themselves. Their diligence has made absolutely no difference. Only true leadership through divestment will talk to these people. The more investors that divest, the more investors will follow and also divest.
Miss Wright talks of 4 degrees. It is a foolish scare tactic. Our external advisors and our climate risk assessment professionals, Aon, tell us that the impact of 3 and 4 degrees of warming will not seriously impact the return. Will not seriously impact the return to our members.
The analytical tools used by the fund's external and internal advisors are designed by economists, apparently without the input of climate scientists. Little change at 3 and 4 degrees is a fantasy. Climate scientists agree that 1.5 to 2 degrees of warming is dangerous. Beyond 2 degrees may well send world economies into chaos and consequently pension values plummeting. What do they think will happen? Just look at the chaos already unfolding around the world, and we haven't even officially reached 1.5 degrees of warming yet. They are dangerously complacent and must divest now.
Members of the jury, you have heard the case of the people versus the West Yorkshire Pension Fund. It is asserted by the people that West Yorkshire Pension Fund has failed to divest from fossil fuels, making them guilty of contributing to terrible future harm to our children, grandchildren, and to their pension fund holders. You have heard 4 arguments. 1. That 4 degrees of warming is a threat to all, and as long as West Yorkshire Pension Fund failed to divest, they are complicit in fueling this threat. The pension fund replies, no, we're not. Number 2, that the West Yorkshire Pension Fund have a moral duty to divest, but the pension fund claims not. 3, that West Yorkshire Pension Fund prefer engagement with the fossil fuel industry instead of divestment, even though engagement is clearly not working. 4, that the climate risk assessments on which the defendant bases their judgments are disastrously wrong. The defendant claims that economists have reassured them that they are right, and therefore climate scientists are wrong. Members of the jury, please consider your verdict. Do you find the West Yorkshire Pension Fund, its advisors, those councillors and employees responsible for its investments, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty! Guilty! Rip his tash off!
The accused, the West Yorkshire Pension Fund, has been found guilty. Sentencing will be in a higher court and will last for eternity.